please pay attention to yourself, take care of you, because the business is kind of a reflection of you. It's a mirror of you. I can see exactly when I was a mess, my business was a mess, was growing, but then started not growing anymore because I wasn't.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the newest episode of Creatives on Camera. If you're an entrepreneur teaching, designing patterns, or running a shop and feeling like video is just too complicated or time-consuming, you're in the right place. This podcast is your guide to creating video content that connects authentically with your audience, builds your business, and expands your reach without the stress of a huge production or expensive equipment. We make it simple, effective, doable. I'm Lyric Montgomery Kennard, an artist, educator, and host of the show. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies to help you confidently share your creativity online. Let's get started. Have you ever loved your business and also felt completely swallowed by it? So many of us start teaching because we adore creating, and we want to share that joy with others. But sometimes we're overwhelmed, exhausted, and unsure how to keep going. Today's conversation is for anyone who's ever felt that tension. I'm Lyric, and this is Creatives on Camera, coming to you from the Academy for Virtual Teaching, where creatives work together to build sustainable, joyful online teaching businesses. In this episode, I'm talking with Claudia Squio, the warm and brilliant artist behind Colorway Arts and the Cartonnage Club. Claudia built a thriving business from a technique most people in the U.S. had never even heard of. But with success came a cost, and her story took a turn that forced her to rethink everything: her time, her energy, her business, and her health. Claudia shares how she went from doing everything alone to building community, hiring support, and eventually facing a life-changing diagnosis that reshaped her entire way of working. You're going to hear a story about growth, burnout, resilience, and the beautiful things that happen when we finally allow ourselves to be supported. Let's begin. Hello, friends. Welcome to Creatives on Camera. I'm Lyric Kennard, and I am here today with Claudia Squio, who I've known for a couple of years online. One of these days we get to meet in person, but you do such a beautiful, unique thing. And when you approached me about having this conversation, I was all in. What we're going to talk about today is a vital part of being a business person, of being able to love and help and serve our people. So, Claudia, if you would introduce yourself, tell us what it is you do, and then tell us a little bit about your business journey.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lyric, for having me here today. I'm so excited to be talking with you and for so many more about, yes, I also think that this is a very important topic because we are like the business woman here trying to get everything done and grow our business, create our business. But on the other side, we are always also a woman, a spouse, a mom, and so many things going on around. So how can we find balance on everything and how we can understand what is needed for us, right? So I'm very glad to be here with you. And now that we just start talking, I just remember, Lyric, I was back in 2014, I was just standing in front of these 5 women, and we just finished our first cartonnage class. And I'll tell you in a minute what is this about, but we just finished my first class, local class in Indiana. And I'm looking at them, taking a picture. They are so happy, smiling. And at that moment, I realized, Lyric, that I wasn't there teaching that because I want to create a business or because I want money or for anything. Like, you asked me how I started my journey. I didn't plan anything. I always say that my business actually kind of happened to me as we went because I started just because it was so fun. It was a hobby. We moved. I'm originally from Brazil, and we moved here to US 2012. And in Brazil, I used to be a food engineer, a professor, so I had a completely different life right there. But I wasn't very happy. I was depressive. A lot of things was going on in my personal life there. So then when we moved here, then I didn't know what to do, who I am now that I'm just starting to learn English. I didn't know how to speak English. So how to learn English, how to learn a new language, everything together. And now I'm talking about standing in front of these people 2 years after moving here. So my English was extremely broken. I didn't know even how to really like say all the words that I need to teach a class. But I was so moved by the feeling of, sharing what was I just discovered that was so fun to do. That was actually a technique that we use chipboard, cardboard, and other types of paper, and we glue fabric, creating boxes and books and journals and so many wonderful things. And at that moment, as I said, I was just like having fun, having that first class, so happy. But when I was looking at the eyes of they are smiling, and the eyes were so shining, and they were so excited. They said, Claudia, I want more. Can you come to my house to teach me this? Because they were from far away. And what is next? What's going to make next month? And I said, wow, okay, yeah, we can do it, I said. And then that's how I actually started teaching this technique.
Let's stop for 1 second.
Absolutely.
Because people, this is the thing you do is not a widespread craft and hobby. So it's called Cartonnage.
Yes.
And it is creating boxes or journal covers or things. You create hard forms and they're covered with paper or fabric.
Yes, exactly. Right? So the original technique, it was designed or developed in France, many in 1880 something. But the way they make the cartonnage projects and boxes there is slightly different than what we do, because I learned it from Brazilian people and they change slightly the process. So now we have these pieces of cardboard, we cover them with fabric, and then we create specific boxes and other projects that at that time, I was just saying, okay, we are making boxes. This is what I was saying. That's the class to make fabric boxes. It was hard for me in the beginning to find people because cartonnage, the name, no one knows this is about. So I had to go to Fun with Fat Quarters, make fabric boxes. And that's how I started getting people into what I was teaching. But then actually was in the second class that something started shifting for me, because then in February class, I had one new student, and then at that point I had just 2 or 3 students every month. But that student came to me in February, and then she said, oh, I love it. I just started making my Christmas gifts. And I looked at her and said, oh, wait a minute, February making Christmas gifts? and then she said,
she's on the ball.
Yeah. And then she said, yes, I'll come every month and I will make 1 gift per month. So at the end of the year, I will have all my gifts done. Then I said, oh, that's so amazing. That's so unique. And then fast forward all those years, now I'm 11 years since I taught this first class. I have thousands of students all around the world. Like my membership has 20 different countries of people joining and doing all those things. And when I do my surveys, we do have like most are grandmas and moms making gifts for their family. And so that is what really touched me. That's what I'm excited to do, to create something that can be a memorable gift that grandma can give to their kids, and they can remember, they can be connected with the roots, have legacy, this is what really moves me today to keep going and doing, all that I'm doing. So that's I would say like kind of my why, right? After all those time.
Right.
And I would say when I started really because like because I didn't have any other thing to do, because I really want just a little bit of money so I could buy more fabric, create more things, craft a little bit more.
That's exactly part of the reason I started teaching. I had to support my fabric habits.
Absolutely. Without my husband, why are you buying again more fabric? I said, okay, let me get some money so I can buy. And that's the first reason. And then after that, of course, we see what we are doing, how we are making the difference. And then my why, of course, changed. And now I'm so more excited than come over here and create a new project. And just because I want to buy more fabric. So we move right with this. Let's talk about teaching online. Maybe you've thought about it, but it feels overwhelming. You're worried about being on camera, not having the right tech, or figuring out how to translate hands-on workshops to a virtual setting. I've been there, but here's the truth. You don't need to be a tech genius or have a big audience to make online teaching work. That's why I'm inviting you to my free Virtual Teaching 101 webinar. I'll show you how to take what you're already doing and turn it into online classes that reach students globally, all with minimal equipment and simple steps. When I made the switch, my income per teaching hour jumped by 7 times compared to in-person workshops, and I'll show you exactly how it can work for you too. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Sign up now at academyforvirtualteaching.com and let's get you started on this incredible journey. I'll see you there.
We grow.
We grow.
The business grows. Yeah, we evolve.
Absolutely. So asking about my journey, this is exactly how I started, out of, that way. So that first year, I just make new projects, new instructions, and I had do-it-yourself kits. That's where I started kind of building this business that I still cannot say it was a business. It was more like a hobby, a little improvement, right?
Mm-hmm. But then, a little side gig.
Yeah, but then 2015, my husband got fired. Unfortunately, his job, his company was sold, and then we had to move. And then we moved to Michigan because before I was in Indiana. Now in Michigan, my students were back in Indiana, so how can I connect with them? And I start, of course, all over finding new places to teach. But then I thought, I can create online stuff. I can start, making videos. And because I also learned most of what I know from people in Brazil online, so I know it's effective. I know I can teach them how to do it. And I'm always passionate as well of how can I do that? And I'm looking for the new solution, technology, how can I do that? So when I moved to here, I also create my online school. And that was back when Teachable was called Fedora, back in time. So then I had a few online courses, separate courses. And imagine my first videos, I was standing in front of the camera and saying, "Hi, I'm Claudia." Really like that. I was so afraid. The first day, the night before my first video, I almost had a panic attack. I said, I can't believe I'm going to make a video. I don't know how to speak English. How that can be.
Right? Everybody's first 100 videos are going to be bad. You just got to get over it. And some of mine, are really bad.
Yes, mine as well.
But then it's so fantastic to be able to look back and go, oh, that's where I came from.
Yeah.
Look how far I've come.
Yeah. And that's why I can now say freely here and happy because I passed through that, right? I did that. So, So then how was in the beginning, I created a blog because I didn't have a website, nothing. So I created a blog. Then I started selling on Etsy. And then I got this situation until I moved here and started selling a little bit more. And then that didn't serve me anymore. So I moved to Wix. And then I created a new website there where I had the blog, I had the shop, I have everything in one place. That was Wix. It served me for a couple of years as well. Until in 2020, right before COVID, Okay, I had gone to Paducah in 2019 to be there, my first big show. And it was,
the Paducah has a really one of the oldest, biggest national quilt shows.
yes,
around.
it's so amazing. So I went completely alone. And it's important to say that until this point, I was doing everything all alone, no help at all. Not from my husband, not from my kids, nothing. I was doing everything. I was learning, I was doing. Let me do it, let me do it. I can do it, I can do it. So when I came back from Paducah, I got a kind of a crisis here, an emotional crisis, because I look at my house when I came back. It was a great show, but I was so tired. When I came home, I saw the mess that my home was. My basement was like boxes and stuff, and we couldn't walk. I was taking like the whole basement for my mess. And my husband was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then I really had some bad time again, like almost the same depressive that I was in Brazil. And why did I start this? What do I do now? Okay, how can I go with this? And then I found a therapist. It was like on Facebook, I was looking something, it was a Brazilian person, and she was talking about mindfulness, whatever. And I don't know, I just felt connected. And I reached out to her. We had the first session, and she's one of my best friends till today. We speak to each other almost every day. But that helped me so much in my journey, because then I said I could like get out of the sadness and the stressful and the situation that I was there. And I started kind of meditating every day and so in the beginning of 2020, I had this idea. No one told me to do that. It was a feeling that I should create a community, because at that point, my students were like, I was selling kits and going to shows, having local classes, but no one was talking to each other. I didn't have how to get feedback. It was just that. And I said, no, I want to hear from them. I want to inspire and be inspired more. So how can I do? And then I had this idea, let's create a community where we can talk, and I can make many courses, and they pay a low fee, and they have access to everything instead of selling course by course. And that's what I did. I was so excited and so sure that was what I would be doing, and I started. Then I made my math. If I could have 400 people, that would be amazing. Then when I started, my list at that point was like 3,000 people. I said, oh, that's, my mind. When I started, actually, less than 40 people joining. So I said, oh, I have a big gap here. So how can I go from 40 to 400? And then I started learning more. I joined the mentorships and lots of things here. And then I implement things that I was learning there. And then I was starting to get more people. And that was COVID time. COVID hit. And then also all of this is uncertain time, but I was able, without the confidence that I was in these mentorship groups, I was able to not stop and just keep going, because on COVID, everyone was home doing something, and I had something to offer, like, let's have fun, let's keep the joy, the positive thing.
So that's the perfect timing for that, right? One of the things I want to point out or reiterate is that for a while your business was owning you. And so many of us have been there, right? And it's exhausting. And we love teaching. We love being in person, but it's not scalable, right? There's only so many hours we have to give, and it's a lot of work. And you pointed out exactly what it was that you needed. You needed the community. You needed people to connect with each other. And one of the ways that you were able to make that community grow and be successful is being in community with other business owners. Like you talked about the mentorships or the programs. I've found the exact same things. Being in a community like I'm in a training program this year with other online business owners. Very few of them are artists and do the kind of thing that I do, but we all kind of have the same structure and we're all learning the same thing together and going through the same up and down and struggles, right? As we learn together, that connection, whether it's you with your students and your students with each other, and then you in colleague situations where you're learning new things together, I think is one of the most vital parts and one of the most beautiful parts of running online businesses. If we are able to create those connections, people so often think that talking to people through Zoom or through a video or something like that is disconnected, but it doesn't have to be. It can expand our connections so much greater than what we have right now, right? Than what you can do in person. And I love that you honed in on that part of it that helped you help your students and helped you help your business.
Oh, absolutely. It's so important because it can be very like how can I say, lonely thing, because I'm here in my studio just myself. And then when I start having these meetings, then they start knowing each other, some people in the same city. And then it's so great. Like every month we have our Zoom meetings, and then we have show and tell, we have all those things. So it's so fun. And now this year I had my second local retreat for club members. And it's so amazing when you see, oh, so great to see you in person, because I feel I know fantastic. You so much. By so long, like years, talking every month. So get together is so special and help everybody. Is just what we really need, like to be close to the people. And but being in a Zoom meeting can also be close because you can relate to the feelings, you can show things. So when one of my students, which is a grandma, is showing a box she made for her grandson that is graduating and show everything, everybody starts crying because it's so related, like it's so emotional, it's so great, so everybody can feel that. So I'm very glad for this situation. And as you said, you mentioned in the beginning about doing everything alone. By this time, when I created the club, I was still doing everything alone. I couldn't accept help from anyone. It was just at the end of 2020, beginning 2022, that my husband was the one that told me, you have to have help. Let me help you. If you cannot trust other people, let me help you. And so that he helped me in the beginning. So I started, trusting someone to do what I was doing, and then, but that was only 2021-ish that I really hired my first employee. And because I had more and more people joining the club. Now I'm about 400, 500 people, and I don't have anyone to help. That's crazy, like insane. So then I could do that. But also, I have to mention that it got so overwhelmed here in my house. So many things. Now an employee coming to my house. Now I don't have my space to think because I cannot think and function in the middle of so many stuff. So I had to find a place. So I found a place here in town where we moved the business, like all the production part for there. And we also have a shop and a space for classes, everything there. But still I was myself, this employee, and then I have to hire one for shipping. And we did so much, just the three of us. And I could not hire more people. I can just explain to you that was so hard. I couldn't do that. It was just something was really off with me, and I couldn't see. I was just wake up and let's do, and without taking care of myself. I stopped sleeping. I start like worrying so much. And my kids now teenagers, and I don't know how to manage this. And my husband is okay. This is a craziness. Can we have some time? And I was not seeing. It's like if I was blind, just looking and seeing. Okay, I have to do more. So that was in about 2 years ago, when I really realized that I need help actually to fix my business. I thought, okay, I need to fix this because how can I, because I am still growing, and how can I do that? So, of course, I went to a mentorship, which was looking to the business system. And then when I started that, I actually realized so many things in my life, in my family, and so many things that started making more sense. And here's something that I think is really important. I kind of was able to separate myself from the business and see that I'm Claudia and I have the business. So now I start looking, instead of asking people and say, can you help me? That's not really the right thing to do. I look at colorway arts and said, what colorway arts need? Okay, we need someone to take care of the shop, someone to ship, someone to help with the marketing, someone to help with instructions, and separate all those things. And then I was able to hire part-time people for all of this. Now I was able to, okay, oof, now I think I can have amazing help. Okay, we are now with our almost 700 members in the club. Everything is working great. I'm doing all my big workshops, free online workshops to get more people to know what is the technique. Everything working so fine. And then last year in April, when I was in the last day of this big event, I received a call that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then I took a deep breath and I said, okay, what is right about this that I cannot see yet? That's what I asked to myself so many times. And so that started a long journey in, okay, to understand what was going on, what was the root causes, together with the doctors, to remove, because I would say the doctors removed what I had in my body, but I had to kind of understand and kind of help to heal my soul, so to speak, to see what I was wrong and then start taking care of myself. Okay, now I start walking, I start exercising a little bit. I always took care very well of what I eat. Like, as I said, I'm a food engineer, so I kind of have a good understanding of that. But look again, what I'm eating, how I'm spending my time, what is really important. Where should I say no? Where should I say yes? And how can I move and do the things like this way? So, well, this whole part here of my healing is my new book that I'm finishing writing, because I wrote out during the process. So I'm finishing editing. So probably in a couple months, we're going to have this book with this healing journey, that will...
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. So your business started growing. Your business succeeded. Mm-hmm. But it was all you.
Yes.
And once again, life got insane, right? Mm-hmm. So you moved out of the basement into a retail, and then also just, you can't do everything yourself. And even with hiring all of those people, it was a lot, and it was still consuming. It was still very, very difficult to balance. And it sounds like you got a wake-up call, an unwelcome wake-up call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of, that's heavy news. But it forced you to stop and look. So I'm interested in hearing this healing journey, but where did your business go at the same time as that? Did you ever have to put your business on hold? Were your employees able to keep it going? How did those match together? And then this book sounds fascinating, hearing and what you're doing now, what that experience called you to become and to do. So where is your business during this process of diagnosis and treatment and the beginnings of recovery?
Yeah, that was a hard time, because, at the moment I received that news, right, I also received kind of a message. I wanted, like, a book that I had bought like several months before came to my mind, and I started reading, and that's where start my healing journey. And I understood that I couldn't ask for help before. I always was like the people pleaser that want to have make everyone happy. Okay, let me be this. Say, let me save the world by myself. I know how to do it. I'm strong girl. I can do everything. And so where this come from? So I actually went back with all this process of looking at the system and the family. What happened with me actually going back to when I was a baby? Something happened very traumatic when I was 2 years old. And that looking at that with compassion, with acceptance, with a lot of love, because there was a big tragedy in my mom's story. Okay, and going back to that was kind of just the beginning, and then I was able to go more back. I got so many. I mean, I got appointments with doctors from Brazil. I was in workshops with a German doctor. A lot of things about systemic work. So we won't have time to talk now, but it's like it will be super well described in my book. And but this it's like if I had a big hole inside me, okay, and I was able to feel with love, with understanding, with a lot of things. So that was what calmed me down, so to speak, and I can see, okay, now I can look with different eyes. Now I can't like just do a little different now. I can do my way. I can start asking help here and there and see how that goes. And so during that time, the biz, I didn't say to anyone because I was so certain that that was a message for me, that something good will come out of that, that I didn't want to talk to involve anyone else other than my close family. So I just talked to my workers. I a little bit before the surgery, I told them, and I said it's everything is good, and it was catch in a very small stage, so that was very good. So I would say mammogram is so important, right? So please do it. Yeah, we need to be with this prevention. It's so important. Technology is evolving on that side as well, so they can catch early, they can remove early. I only need to do 5 radiation sessions, no chemo, not no. So everything was also good on that part. But I received the news today, and I only knew how was the situation 4 days after. So I stayed 4 days with that. Okay, I have cancer. What that means, and all those stuff. But then I had some like how can I say? Because I have the workers, my marketing could still send emails, post stuff. So no one really noticed that I wasn't really there. But I was just at home taking care of myself. So after I finished the surgery and I received the notice that that was good, that I was like good and free. So then I sent a message saying that happened. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. And then I received so many messages from people saying, oh, that happened to me as well, to my sister, to my daughter, it was overwhelming the amount of emails I received, with that thing. So it's really like, I said, wow, now. And then when we also have like this list of people that follow us, so many people, it's so important to kind of, hey, please pay attention to yourself, uh, to take care of you, because the business is kind of a reflection of you. It's a mirror of you. Like I can see exactly when I was a mess, my business was a mess, was growing, but then started like not growing anymore because I wasn't. And now I can breathe again and everything gets back to normal.
If you're listening to Claudia's story and feeling that little ping of recognition, you're not alone. Most of us didn't start our creative businesses with a roadmap. We built things piece by piece, often by ourselves, and sometimes we don't realize how heavy the load has gotten until something forces us to stop. That's exactly why we created the Academy for Virtual Teaching. It's a place where you don't have to figure it out all alone. A community of artists, makers, and educators who are learning together, sharing resources, and supporting each other in building sustainable online teaching businesses. If you're ready for guidance, connection, and practical help, join us. You'll find seminars, expert conversations, and a community that truly understands what it means to teach creatively online. You can sign up for the Academy at a link waiting for you in the show notes, academyforvirtualteaching.com. Now back to Claudia. And that's what teachers do, right? We have walked a path, we've learned a thing, we've developed a skill, we've practiced enough, and then just enough to turn around and be willing to help the people behind us along the path. Mm-hmm. And it's that helping part. And again, coming back to the community, and you came to, when you shared your reality, instead of just the facade, mm-hmm. instead of just the, here's all the good stuff on the surface, yeah. And you did it in a way that was right for you. You protected what you needed to while you were going through it. And then when you shared, it was another point of connection. And going forward from that, when you find out your people have experienced some of the same things, because you're a teacher again. Yeah. Because you're a teacher, you're like, oh, I've learned this thing, and now I'm going to turn around and help the people that I can along this. It's one of the beautiful things about teachers, your souls, the spirit that you have that is outward facing, that shines a light into people who don't know where to put their foot next. Right?
Absolutely. And it gets a lot of responsibility for us as well, right? Because when I say, like, I grow so much that it's a big transformation. I say that I'm not the same person that got the disease last year. I'm a completely new person. I'm taking care of myself, first of all. And the more I do that, the interesting thing is that the more I do that, better the business go, right? And then I can take care more, and that goes like a cycle. It's like sometimes it's like something was protecting, okay? Like I say, well, I'm doing all right. Why can I have not more members? Now I see, if I had more members, imagine where I would go. I would so if I like to look back always and see that things are preparing us for the next step in everything in life, right? So where I am today, it's incredible thankful for all the opportunities that I had, incredible thankful for all the members and all the community and customers, because they really inspire me. They push me to grow, because from not knowing how to speak English, and here just one of the lessons I'd like to say here, right? If you already know how to speak the language of your customer, you are ahead of me a lot. Like, because I first had to learn how to speak the same language and then go, and I'm not afraid. Like I say, for me, everything is learnable. We can learn a new technology. We can learn stuff. Oh my gosh, after weeks I went to Shopify. I'm still in Teachable, but my equipments here are so easy to do. I have switchers, and I do this and this and this, and I change my camera with a click. I edit it so easy, but I was learning because I don't know how to do. I want to do better, and then I go and search. I'm always curious to see what it is. And then I follow sometimes I learn and I don't like. So that's okay, not for me. But sometimes I learn and I really like, oh, that's really good. Then I want to learn more.
Very, very good. Yeah. And that's part of the evolution and the growth process. We do it together with our students. But when fear gets in the way, when you're at the beginning of your filming, right? Like, I'm afraid that I don't know how to speak well enough. And when one of the things that helps you let that go is curiosity, is the willingness to learn, even when you're doing badly in public, right? That's one of the things we do is we have to learn as people are watching us. But it's again turning it back to the community. We learn from them, but it's not about us, right? And because it's not about us, it makes it easier to be adventurous, to take those chances, to say, okay, yeah, technology can be crazy and sometimes it doesn't work, and this thing might be difficult for me, but I can do this. I tell my students, you can do that, right? I should set the example, and I can do this. So I love that you are doing this. So looking forward, you have a book coming out documenting your growth and your health journey.
Yeah.
How is your what looks different now in real terms of your everyday life, Claudia, your business, your family, compared to the before?
Well, as I said, is everything completely different because now I learn to be present to my day and present to my moment. So I'm very catching up my feelings. So, I'm afraid of this. What is going on here? Let's go back to here. So I meditate a lot. I go walk almost every day. I started doing Pilates again, something that I had stopped for a long time ago. And now I'm really more engaged and more than ever. I mean, listen to my feelings. So, for example, I was planning one event for November, and something wasn't good. I was just like, no. Until 2 days ago, I said, no, I cannot do this. I need to postpone because the message is not ready yet. So we just postponed for next year, and now I feel so much better. And like just yesterday, I sent an email and got so wonderful like feedbacks and purchases again, as it was everything like I was like so nervous and business was not going. So I'm learning as well a lot of practice that I also do that are not, I should say, I don't do business very like traditional way. I don't look at data and stuff like that and what is the trend. I don't dance on TikTok. I don't do anything like this. I don't think for me, consistency is not what have made me grow. What have made me grow was connecting my energy with my customers, aligning our inspiration, aligning our message, and that brings customers to me. And they tell others, and others tell others, and that's how we grow. So I don't do like stories on social media, stuff like that. No, I grow my business from an email list. When I send an email list, I sell. When I send an email, I sell. I connect. I have ideas, inspiration. So now my marketing worker, my strategist on marketing, she is doing the social media stuff. I rarely do that. I really send my emails and connect with the people in my community and classes and stuff like that. So I envision like in the future, I envision also I would love to kind of explore more of this part of what have I been doing in this kind of energetic alignment of business that have allowed me to grow this way, even though I didn't even know how to speak English. So I think there's something there that I really still want to share. And I think that's going to be what's going to come next year for me as well, along with my business, my craft business, of course.
Well, it's beautiful to hear that you have learned something that is settling you into a place of health and peace that doesn't ignore your business. It allows your business to support you instead of your business to overwhelm you. And I think that's a really good goal that all of us need to have, right? We need to allow our business to, when we're aligned, with our values, when we're aligned with what is really going on in our soul, then it allows our business to align with that, right? And otherwise there's friction. And you felt that with trust your gut, right? Trust your feelings when something you're pushing for, and it just doesn't feel right. When you let it go, just everything opens up, doesn't it?
Yes, when we are aligned with what we're like, with our energy, we're supposed to do is like going, as you said, with the flow, right? And not going again. And as a friend, yesterday I was talking with a friend, actually the same therapist that is now my friend. I was talking about, I had to cancel my event. And I'm kind of like nervous because I don't know. And she said, well, Claudia, it's not because we can do something, and I know you can do that we should. I mean, we have to take a look and see what is really right now. And I have learned with all those years that I really trust my gut. Like, I really trust my vibes. I really trust the divine inspiration in me. I trust God. I know there's a path, there's a reason. And, but I need to be quiet and be present and listen to this inspiration and this guy that just align me and help me go with the flow.
And even sometimes when there's something you really want to achieve or do, but the feeling is no, instead of being disappointed that you're letting it go, often the answer is just not right now. Like with your retreat and that relief. I've had so many experiences where like, oh, this new thing, I really want to do it. And then it's just not working. And often letting it go is a huge relief. And then kind of these beautiful things, these beautiful gifts that the universe gives us when the time is right. Then it happens, and then it flows, and then it's easier. Claudia, I appreciate so much the time that you have gifted us with and your wisdom and sharing. It's a vulnerable journey that you've shared. So thank you for being so real with us.
Thank you.
One of the things I love to ask all my guests, because we're all creatives and makers, and it doesn't have to be a thing with your hands, but what is, just for fun, what is the last thing you made?
The last thing I made was a book, because my last project was making a course teaching how to do fabric book covers using the technique that we use. So I made several of them last week, and I also made a different book with cross stitch on the side binding. And we also have a box that can fit the book and stuff like that. So that was the last thing that I made.
So many fun layers. Yeah. That sounds so much fun. If you have a picture, you can send it and we can stick it on the blog in the show notes. Right. Where can people find you, Claudia?
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Well, our website is colorwayarts.com. And on the website, you're going to find everything from page with videos where you can see basic videos about the technique. You're going to find my story. You're going to find a blog, also our shop with all the do-it-yourself kits and fabrics. And you're going to find information about my club, this membership that I said, that we have different plans. And we also have teachers, Lyric. I also grow to we have maybe 20 teachers that are certified and are teaching local classes around the US. I have several.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I have several shops that are now selling wholesale. And next year, as my kids now are going to college, one is already there and the other one is going next year. So then I'm going to start going to big shows. I want to go to Houston and start selling, go bigger. Then now I can. I have space. I'm more myself, more in my place. So that's time for that as well.
That's fantastic. And people sign up for our newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
That's always the place to really closely connect with somebody. Well, thank you, Claudia. We will have all of these links in the show notes. And friends, if you have a moment, it is such a gift to us. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, that thing. Sign up for our newsletter at the Academy for Virtual Teaching, or leave a review. Where if you're listening to the podcast, it really helps people find us and helps us spread this beautiful community of creatives who have the soul of a teacher and who are willing to spread your joy and the beauty farther and farther into the world through our online offerings. Thank you so much, Claudia.
Thank you, Lyric, and I also want to thank you because you support me so many times also with your program, so help me to spread the word about this technique that is new, and I was always figuring out so ways of sharing, and you help me also with this. So now I'm here again. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
We do this for each other. It's a beautiful community. Creatives are wonderful people, and you all make the world a better place. Yeah. So don't stop.
Absolutely.
Keep creating, my friends. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
What stays with me from this conversation is Claudia's reminder that our businesses reflect us. When she pushed herself past exhaustion, her business strained too. And when she finally paused, when she cared for her body, her spirit, and her boundaries, everything began to flow again. 2 lines in particular keep echoing. It's not because we can do something that we should, and when we're aligned, the business aligns too. You can find Claudia's work, her DIY kits, her club, her teachers, and soon her book at colorwayarts.com. And we've included all of that in the show notes. She is a beautiful example of what it means to teach from the heart while building a business that supports rather than consumes you. And if you're ready to explore resources that can help you do the same, I'd love to welcome you inside the Academy for Virtual Teaching. It's the best place to learn, connect, and grow your online teaching business with confidence and creativity. Thank you for spending this time with us. Keep creating beautiful things, my friends, and keep serving your people well. Thank you so much for joining me on Creatives on Camera. I know there are countless podcasts out there, and I'm honored you spent your time here. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the next one, please subscribe to the podcast. Then, if you'd like to stay connected and get even more tips on teaching, marketing, and video creation, sign up for my email list at academyforvirtualteaching.com. You'll get exclusive insights and updates delivered straight to your inbox to help you grow your creative business with ease. Lastly, be sure to check the show notes below in the episode description for links to everything mentioned today. And I'll see you in the next episode.